Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Art Adventures. So in this series, we are gonna be basically creating few art styles that even solo developers like you and me can basically create it in a simple manner. They're gonna be easy and they're gonna be looking good. So that's the goal of this series. So in the first episode, I'm gonna be creating an art style, what I call 2D neon art style. So let's talk about the key features this art style has. The first thing is it uses simple shapes. It uses colors to indicate the behavior of the entity, be it player or enemy. So enemy can have a dangerous color or player can have a calm and soothing color. Also, just as a separate thing, you can use trails and camera shakes as a finishing touch. Alright, so let's start out by creating a few shapes that we're going to be using in our game. So I'm gonna be heading out for this polygon tool and tweak the sides here. Alright, so now that the shapes are done, let's export this file. Click export as PNG, save it in desktop. Alright, now I'm in Unity and I imported this file that we did just now. So let's slice them up. So we got our 5 pieces. Let's apply it and quit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drag and drop all these files onto here and create a new animation called something first. If you run the game now, it will look something like this. Let's slow it down a little bit. So currently the samples is 12, so let's make it 1 or maybe 4. That's good. That looks pretty good. So okay, I'm gonna import a package called post processing stack. So if you head over to the Windows tab and select package manager, and now you can see all these files, right, all these things. So let's search post processing stack and install it. Alright, grab the main camera, attach post processing volume. First attach post processing layer, then attach post processing volume. Alright, in post processing layer you already have the main camera attached, so that's fine. Now in the layer put everything, and I guess that's it for that. Now in post process volume check is global and attach and we need a profile asset over here. So for that I'm gonna head out to project and create a new post processing profile. Right, so just assign this over here. Alright, so now what we need is an effect called bloom. Alright, this one. Just open this tab and check the intensity. Alright, one more thing. So we need a layer for the post processing to see, right? So let's create a new layer called post processing. The name doesn't matter, so I'm just going with this name. So what's important is that the camera that you want to render this should have that layer, and in the layer that you have the post processing layer should actually mark post processing. So just go to nothing, just click nothing and click post processing to see that effect. And now although you can't notice it right now, but you can see a little bit of a bloom in the screen, right? So let's just increase the threshold a little bit, and what I'm going to do is quickly change the color in the background so that we can look at this effect a little more clearer, right? So just make it a little bit of gray, and let's see the threshold now. Let's see the bloom. So I'm going to keep it at 6, which is kind of what intensity I need for this. Right, so if you have reached this point, then this is all you need for this particular art style. Now what we're going to do is we're going to polish this up and make it look like a little better looking scene, so it looks a little good, right? Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of animation over here just to make it a little better, right? So what I'm going to do is add a color value. So what we will do is we will just change the color of this thing. Let's hit record and just change the color. Looks pretty good, right? Okay, so let's do something else. What I'm trying to do is create 3 circles that kind of rotate around this guy, right? So let's do that now. So I'm going to create a alright, wait. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this circle guy into the scene. Drag and drop, move him up. Just make him a little bit smaller because he looks kind of big. And what I'm going to do is just replicate this guy. I'm going to create a new object. Child is inside this object. Move this object to the center. Alright, so the shapes, let's create another shape. Alright. So these shapes will have a fixed distance from the center. Alright, so let's try 2.5, 0. So I'm going to put kind of a similar I'm going to arrange them in a square pattern so it looks kind of neat and stuff. Oh, sorry, 2.5. Alright, so let's rotate these guys. So what we'll do is let's create a new script. Rotate. So the idea is to rotate those 4 circles in a kind of a circular way around the center, right? So what we'll do is let's have a variable which controls the rotation speed. So I'm gonna name it speed. Simple. Right, so let's remove the start. In update, what we have to write is transform.rotation equals to transform.rotate, and we have to give the angle that the circles are going to rotate in. So what we'll do is we'll just multiply speed with time.delta time so that it comes a little bit smoother. Alright, so what is this? It needs a vector 3, right? Or we can do something, we'll just give an axis. So let's use this axis thing. So the axis is vector 3 dot forward, which is the z-axis, and it points towards you or into the screen, right? So we'll use that axis, and what we'll give is an angle. So for the angle, we'll do what we did before. It will be speed into time.delta time. Alright, and what does this want? Okay, cannot convert void to quaternion. Alright, seems like we don't need this transform.rotation, so this itself is enough. Alright, so now let's look at how this is looking. Alright, so I'm gonna attach rotate component to this, rotate, and set the speed to something like 200. Let's see how it looks. Looks pretty good. I'll just slow it down a little bit, or let's come back to it later. I'm gonna change the color of these guys to, yeah, let's say yellow. I like yellow. Right, so one more thing, let's add a trail to these guys, to these circles, so that they look a little bit you can see them, so that you can feel the motion. So let's create a new material. Before that, I'll create a new trail. So just grab one of the objects, create a new trail. So the idea is the trail will kind of fade off. It will be kind of short and it will fade off really quickly. So the width should be small. It should become small as the length goes more, right? So let's just make the curve like this, and what we need is the time. The time has to be very small, right? So let's try 0.2. So the color is gonna be white, but I'm gonna fade the color as at the end, right? So let's check how this looks. Perfect. Let's just increase the width so that it kind of fits to that shape. Little bit more. Alright, now let's copy this trail to the other ones also. Let's make it 0, 0. Alright, let's see how this looks. Looks pretty good, right? Alright guys, so this wraps up our tutorial of neon art style. So what I want to say is this art style is kind of a simple thing. It's pretty simple. It has very simple criteria to it, but what's important is that you use this art style as a building block for your own game. So try to be more creative and create as much stuff as possible and keep experimenting. That's the biggest takeaway from this particular tutorial. So yeah, if you like this kind of tutorials and if you like the idea of art adventures, so please comment, please like the video and comment your opinions in the comment section. Alright guys, I'm gonna take off now, and see you guys in the next episode or the next video. Peace.